The Jimpy Sentinel is a Balisong that's been discontinued, but is still floating around the market from time to time. It is interesting. The first things first is that it's got very narrow handles. It's got a very narrow handle gap. Honestly, this blade looks like it could have had a latch in a different life. It's got tang pins and a thin, narrow drop point blade. Now, this Balisong is deceptively heavy for its thin demeanor. It is 4.6 ounces. That is it's quite a lot for a Balisong of this narrow nature. I don't know why, but these titanium handles are deceptively chunky, I guess. Even though there's milling out, right now I have these zippy inserts in. I guess there's just so much material left in here, and I don't know. Also, despite Jimpy, there's no jimping. Apparently, the name Jimpy, it just is a coincidence, but there's no jimping. Jimpy. Jimpy. Why is there no jimping? And this matters to me. Normally, titanium, there can be some passes, but this is a 4.6 Balisong, and it's so narrow that ladders are really spooky. It can fly out of your hand pretty easily. Thankfully, my knife is not too sharp. It is a neutral-ish balance, slight teensy bit of handle bias. Sorry. The Sentinel has a very satisfying clack. She's a clacky girl, I'll tell you that. And I find that I've been having a lot of fun flipping this. The first time I tried a Sentinel, I kind of just picked it up and I'm like, okay. And then I put it down. And again, there were like dozens of knives at that meetup, so that wasn't the one that stuck with me. But then I found a really good deal on the Sentinel. And I'm like maybe trying to sell it, and I'm waiting for Blocks to send me the Sentinel trainer. Eventually, when I do get that, I'll make a comparison. But this Balisong is quite hefty, but it also narrow and thin, which is a very interesting combination because most of the time, narrow, thin Balisongs are light. The Seraph, for example, I want to say is under 4 ounces. And this is where things get really interesting. The NRB Slight. These Balisongs are basically exactly the same dimensions, except weight. Because this Balisong, thin, narrow, this is 3.95, I want to say. It's like just under 4 ounces. And this is 4.6. So this is a 0.75 ounce difference or something like that. Did I do my math right? I don't know. 0.65 ounce difference. This is over half an ounce heavier, despite them having basically the same dimensions. Like these handles are exactly the same width, and the length I feel like is basically the same too. Like the best way is still to compare this way. Like look at these dimensions. You see these two knives and you think these two must flip very similarly, right? The answer is sorta, because this is also a thin, long-ish Balisong. This one's maybe a smidge more handle bias. I also have more inserts in. There are superficial differences. Like there is like this cross pattern for the grip. There's jimping. Tanto blade versus a drop point blade. But like honestly, the blade shapes probably don't affect the weight all that much. I don't know if these blades, like the Sentinel might be a little thicker. Also more superficial differences. I think this is thicker. There are more superficial differences, such as this being on tang pins, this being on zen pins. But somehow, despite these near identical dimensions, the weight is so different. Again, like under 4 ounces is light. 4.2-ish to 4.3, you know, around that area. That's like average. 4.6 is a little bit hefty. And if you get over 5 ounces, then you're a really heavy girl. But the Sentinel, she's hefty. And I feel like it's this really interesting feeling where you get this, again, a long, thin Balisong, but with so much more weight. Like, as heavy as the Ibass. But the Ibass is thick, real chunky. And these two knives, I don't know, like, the NRB Slight feels like a very great standard lightweight flipping experience. Yeah, the handles are a little thin, but ooh, handles are a little thin, but like, she feels really fun. And a lot of people who have only, like, I met someone who like only has grails and a Slight, because they're like, the Slight just feels like it's just such a good flipping experience. I think a lot of people say the Slift T and the Slight are like in that price range, some of the best bang for your buck flipping. Sentinel, this is like 400-ish retail, and you know, blemish versions can be like $375. My first Slight I ended up getting for like $300, and then this one I traded into the Sentinel. I want to say it retailed for like $425, but a lot of times people put it at $500. I've even seen at some point $600. Sentinels are no longer being made, so you have to get a second hand. They're pretty beefy. Honestly, there's some scuffs on this one, but like, I can imagine this being a solid beater. This is a tank, deceptively tanky knife. I like the narrow, thin design. It looks elegant. It looks clean. And like, this also has like a sort of clean look to it. But there's something about, I guess, the smoothness of it, and the drop point. It all just looks very clean to me. I do wish the handle gap was a little wider. Again, this looks like it could have had a latch. This is like, oh, this is the latchless version? No, there's never been a latch. But the handle gap is very thin. And I still find that makes it really difficult to Z-choker. The Z-choker to ice pick close. Fuck, like, with the weight, the length, and the narrow handle gap. So, I don't know. I've just been thinking about the Sentinel a lot. I've had a lot of fun flipping it. It sounds great. There we go. That was like a really shitty Z. There we go. It flips pretty great. It looks very clean. And it's just surprisingly heavy. Will I keep this? I mean, I'm waiting for my Sentinel, because I bought a pair of Blem handles from Jimpy after he discontinued the Sentinel, and Blocks did a trainer redesign, and there's been some foibles that I'm waiting to get ironed out. So hopefully in like, I think they said 2 weeks, I'll have the Sentinel trainer, and I'll be able to compare how they feel. But honestly, if you like heftier Balisongs, you like thin handles, you like the sort of elegant, minimalist but smooth design, you like a good clack, this is a good Balisong. She's a good Balisong. She's fun. She's relatively unique. If you want to try what a Slight feels like but heavy, honestly, they feel similar. Just in the hands, like, the handles feel similar. Like, look at these fucking ends of their handles. They're just like the same. Anyways, I suppose that's enough piddling around. If you like this video, I also had an unboxing video of the Sentinel, and give it a like. Fuck. That said, yeah. Biggest issue this has is grip. There's no fucking grip, and yeah, I mean, I guess the handle gap is a point of contention for some. It doesn't slap, thankfully. It does not slap. It is on tang pins. I do worry about the integrity of tang pins, but so far It does not slap. Anyways, check out the coffee in my description. Helps keep the channel alive. Donate $1 to $5. It will be very helpful. Helps me keep this channel up and running. I do daily uploads, so I got a lot of videos. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other videos. Check out my video on the Slight. Check out my video on the Sentinel for more. My other, my unboxing video for my first impressions. And yeah, have a good day. Happy flipping, everyone.